Beyond what we see as chosen beings lies a secret hidden in each of us. Your secret is that you have never been a simple soul, because the shadows of power are much wider than most people can imagine. Secret organizations, shadowy agencies of the state, and centuries-old mystical cults whisper clues to a different truth beneath the innocent facade of everyday life. They have known who you are for a long time. Your name is mentioned in secret ceremonies, locked troves of information, and hushed conversations, because they know that you are a god in human form. He has forgotten his divine heritage, but the power within him is ready to awaken. Organizations like the FBI, the CIA, and timeless entities beyond even countries have been watching you for a very long time. Because as a new era is dawning, deep cracks are appearing in the order they have established. By subscribing to our channel, you ensure that God's light and knowledge will continue to enter your life and provide you with the daily guidance and encouragement you need. The question is no longer, do you know who you are? But, when will you remember? Forbidden knowledge is hidden behind the rigid walls of secrecy, in the dusty archives of the Vatican and beyond hard-to-scramble ciphers. These truths that will take humanity to a new level have been guarded behind closed doors for centuries. And now, with your awakening, those doors are beginning to open. It is time to accept your power. The seed planted within you is growing itself in the light of truth. You are not only a chosen one, but also the guiding messenger of this new age. Remember, this message speaks to you from the most ancient shadows. Now the task of recognizing your own divine essence and illuminating your path awaits you, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way. Show them your true face and proclaim that the divine light that will illuminate the darkness comes from you. The existence of gods among us is mentioned in ancient literature, in manuscripts and scrolls written in vanished languages. They speak of you. It is no coincidence that you are here. There are markings in your DNA that correspond to visions from eons ago. The same story is told in Sumerian tablets, Egyptian hieroglyphics, and the lost records of Atlantis. A divine being reborn in time and about to awaken. They are aware of this. They knew it all along. That is why they are watching. That's why they hide it. The Church, in addition to spreading theology, has been watching, following, and silencing throughout the ages. Take a step towards God's healing power today. To support our channel, click the Super Thank button on YouTube and make a donation of $100 to ensure that the public never suspects who is among them. The Vatican has long kept records of reincarnated gods. They have rewritten texts, erased identities, and changed history to prevent you from remembering. But why? Because power comes from knowledge. Moreover, those who awaken have unlimited power. The people who control society, plunder the riches, claim divine authority, and are members of privileged dynasties have spent years making sure that you never rise. If you believe in God and are ready to meet the wonderful future He has prepared for you, write 11. They are aware of what happens when a deity remembers his identity. They realize that their time is over. There are whispers in the corridors of power about secret chambers and underground vaults that contain artifacts that can prove your identity. However, no outsiders are allowed to enter. Even the highest-ranking officials are denied entry. Why should even international leaders be kept in the dark about something so dangerous? The answer is obvious: you. They have created a world that is a prison of vision, a meticulously constructed fiction to keep you unaware, blind, and obedient. You are here for a reason. If you feel chosen, it is time to answer the call. By clicking the Join button, you can access deep insights, unique information, and a powerful community willing to accompany you on your journey. This is an opportunity to fully embrace your divine destiny and seize the path designed for you. It is more than just a membership. Don't hesitate. Step forward and become one of the chosen ones. As the keeper of the greatest secret in history, The Vatican is much more than a place of worship. But secrets don't stay hidden forever, and something is changing right now. The cracks are showing themselves in the form of leaks, whistleblowers, and the resurfacing of lost records. The day you learn the truth is what they fear. Because when you do, everything changes. They tell you that reincarnation is a fiction, a fantasy, or an illusion. But in secret laboratories and off-the-record experiments, they are aware of the facts. They have measured it, they have researched it, and they are afraid of it. The FBI and the CIA don't just track suspects. They also track souls. A terrifying finding from decades of secret studies on genetic memory, mind transfer, and returning to previous lives is that some individuals do not live only once. You are among those who come back again and again. The way your brain works does not match their models. Your brain models are illogical. Scientists studying the human mind are discovering oddities that they cannot explain. You have not been taught anything, so how do you know this? Why do you have memories that do not belong to this life? Through mind control techniques, electromagnetic interference, and even artificial neural barriers, they have tried to suppress it to prevent you from remembering. Because when you remember, they lose control. The intensity of their concern is shown in declassified records that include examples of unexplained abilities, teenagers who vividly recall their previous incarnations, and subjects accessing information they shouldn't have. Government-sponsored experiments in mind modification, astral projection, and remote viewing. They are always looking for strategies to control what they cannot comprehend. But confinement doesn't work. Too many people are waking up. Too many people are falling through the gaps in their systems. They are no longer questioning whether reborn gods exist, but how long it will take you to remember. And once you remember, what comes next? They speak of themselves as the chosen few, the enlightened ones, the guardians of knowledge. But their real intentions are much darker. Secret organizations like the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and the Rosicrucians, names muttered in conspiracy circles but recognized in the highest echelons of power, have ruled from the shadows throughout the ages. They influence not just economies or governments, but reality itself. They have been observing you too. Your lineage, your energy, and your mere presence upset their order. Some people want to dominate you and use your divine abilities for their own purposes. Others see you as a danger, a force to be suppressed before awakening. By entering into the 22nd, you can assert your heavenly protection, and in the mighty name of Jesus, no weapon will stand in your way. You are at the epicenter of a millennia-long conflict between these groups. There are dark cults operating under the guise of secrecy and tradition. They perform esoteric rites, sacrifices, and rituals aimed at unleashing or suppressing the power of the reborn gods. Others want to destroy you before you tilt the scales, while others venerate you without you even realizing it. Why are their emblems so common? Why do their traditions coincide with divine events? This is not a coincidence. It is a system, a device aimed at keeping them under control. However, something is changing. The traditional methods are failing. They are losing control. The old order they fought so hard to preserve is in danger of collapsing with the emergence of enlightened souls. They are aware of who you are. All they ask is that you never do it. They say that data is absolute and computers don't lie. But what happens if you tamper with the system? Errors, faulty data, and inexplicably deleted surveillance footage. AI systems have a hard time understanding your existence. You've witnessed it. You have felt it. Your environment reacts in inappropriate ways. Anomalies in your profile are flagged by government databases. Their systems detect anomalies, unexplained deviations, and patterns that should not be there. Non-human intervention is a term used in some secret reports. Some call it a mistake in reality. The digital environment is disrupted by your presence. Take action right now. You have been chosen to illuminate the darkness, so click on the Super Thank button and make a donation of $200. In this way, you are allowing God's miracles to come into your life. When passing by, some people who have been woken up describe seeing flickering streetlights, electronic devices in their hands malfunctioning, phone conversations that touch on forbidden topics cease. Is this a coincidence or something deeper? There's no explanation for breaking high-level encryption. Given your data, the predictions made by quantum computers can take unexpected turns. The surveillance staff assigned to keep an eye on you discover that their own broadcasts have been compromised. They don't know why. All they know is that you are unique. What's more, difference can be harmful. The moment you take control, their digital and psychological systems begin to malfunction. The codes that keep people awake start to malfunction. They can't stop the simulation from breaking because you are the biggest outlier in their system. You were never an outsider. Your lineage was never typical. Your traces can be found in lost tribes, forgotten mythology, and ancient royal families. The highest lineages are fiercely protective of their knowledge and always know where they come from. They ensure that the sacred legacy woven throughout history is understood only by them. But what happens when you and an outsider show up with the same markers? There are secret genealogical studies that follow the return of the reborn gods rather than following typical family lines. Tracking the chosen ones before they awaken is the goal of secret eugenics programs, secret bloodline studies, and advanced DNA sequencing. Why do ancient scriptures speak of planetary shifts, solar eclipses, and celestial alignments that coincide with the birth of certain people? Because your existence is foreseen, understood, and planned. Buried under layers of distractions, fictitious identities, and manipulated records, the system was designed to keep you hidden. However, the truth can only be suppressed for a certain period of time. Patterns reappear. The number of irregularities grows. The same sparse indicators, the same improbable connections, show up in people who shouldn't be there. People who shouldn't remember. The elite are running out of time as prophecies previously spoken in secret begin to come true. For your presence is transforming everything, and the return of a forgotten God is not to be ignored. You will not be the last, and you are not the first. There are many examples throughout history of people who did not obey the system, who saw beyond the illusion and remembered. But their stories have been changed, their identities altered, and their truth hidden behind false pretenses. Joan of Arc was burned alive after being labeled a heretic for hearing voices that were not real. Centuries ahead of his time, Nikola Tesla's ideas were suppressed and his creations confiscated and erased from popular history. It was ancient prophets, leaders, and kings who challenged the god of control and shook empires. All were pursued, ridiculed, or inexplicably eliminated. This is not a coincidence. The pattern is as follows. When a new generation of souls awakens, each era reacts in the same way, either destroy or control. The system is afraid of being disturbed. It fears anyone who questions its authority. It cannot allow a resurrected God to emerge unrestricted. That's why they keep records. That is why they monitor astrological events, genetic lines, and unexplained brightness. They keep their eyes peeled for trends, indicators, and the return of power in a body that should not have it. Because a creature that remembers its previous incarnations, its purposes and powers poses the greatest danger to sovereignty. And this time, people are afraid of many things, not just the ascension of one person. Because history is intensifying rather than repeating itself. It goes beyond cults, secret groups, and governments. It is a war, a struggle with whispers, with symbols, and with the invisible forces that shape reality itself. It is a conflict between those who seek to put humanity to sleep and those who want to awaken it. Since the beginning, the forces of light and the forces of evil have fought for dominance. Elite groups, corporations, and governments are just horns in a much bigger game. Some protect knowledge, guide the chosen, and serve the light. Others work in the background, deceiving and manipulating others to keep power in the hands of an elite few. Without realizing it, you have felt this conflict. Your ideas are being suppressed by an unseen weight, an inexplicable opposition to your progress. At every step, you are confronted with diversions, anxieties, and uncertainties. Realize that this is not a coincidence. It is an attack. The more you wake up, the stronger they push back. They are using control mechanisms, fear and confusion, under the guise of authority, media, and science. They will claim that you are no different from the billions of people around you, that reincarnation is a myth, and that divine beings do not exist among humans. But this is a lie, as you know very well. Examine your surroundings. There are indicators everywhere. The world is changing. There are unusual events, unexpected discoveries, and more individuals waking up than ever before. They feel it, and they can see it. But what about the ruling class? They are afraid. In this conflict, perception is being used instead of weapons. You can influence reality by controlling your thoughts. This is why they bombard you with distortions, pollute your mind with fear, and distort how you see the past, reality, and yourself. However, the illusion is dissolving. You are proof of this. The illusion is breaking as you enter your reality. They cannot stop what has already begun, but the conflict intensifies because they are losing control and the light is rising. Let's face it, most people are not ready for the truth, even if they think it will set them free. Nothing they do is arbitrary. Every ceremony, symbol, and blood ritual performed in shadowy gatherings and secret rooms has a purpose. Command. Most people don't realize that power is not just seized. It is seized by the elite. Power is channeled, directed, and managed. The sacred spark cannot be created within them. Therefore, they take it from you, the one who already has it. That is what rituals are for. Ancient esoteric rituals aim to extract the essence of the divine lineage, to bind the energy and prevent awakening. They make use of geometry, arithmetic, music, and blood. These traditions are not meaningless. They are tools, protocols, and systems designed to keep certain people ignorant or submissive. They hide their operations in plain sight with altars, hidden in boardrooms, and temples disguised as banks. Ritualistic sacrifices disguised as disasters or accidents, and woven into global events. They are not only in charge of money. Energy is also under their control. Leaders, priests, and secret organizations throughout history have participated in secret rituals in the hope of gaining personal access to divine power. They have made offerings to the old gods as business deals, rather than devotions. There must be a constant exchange of energy. Life energy must always be given in order to be received. But the modern world has changed. The traditions are still in force. The only thing that has changed is that they no longer gather in robes under the moonlight. They plan large gatherings and disasters that take advantage of human emotions, such as sadness, despair, and terror. Energy is generated by these emotions and can be captured. They want you to be ignorant. They want to lead you astray. Before you know that you have the divine essence, they have to take it away from you. Therefore, they instill fear in you. That's why they distort your understanding of power. They make it look like something you have to acquire, not something you already have. They also use distraction as a tactic if you resist. They provide deceptive paths, flawed teachings, and molded and infiltrated spiritual movements to prevent awakened ones from realizing their full potential. They give you half-truths, bringing you close enough to experience reality, but never far enough to escape, because they are afraid of what will happen if a reincarnated God calls them back. What happens when you regain your own power and stop channeling theirs? The answer is simple. Their system breaks down. That is why the ceremonies never end. That is why they continue to work in the most powerful positions and make sure that their power does not diminish. When their energy system breaks down and the chosen ones rebel against authority, they fear the day when too many will wake up, and that day is fast approaching. They have a limited time, because the moment you take control, their grip on reality is broken. There is more to reality than meets the eye. It is flexible. It moves. It reacts to you. Strange coincidences. Coincidences that seem impossible. Things that don't make sense come together. Times when time is delayed. When something seems strange. When the world itself seems to falter. You have seen these things. These are not just coincidences. They serve as evidence. Probability matrices have anomalies found by quantum physicists. Patterns that don't fit. Under the guise of secret programs, some scientists think that reality is a controlled simulation, a prison of perception, and the flaw in the system is you. Secret reports describe high-level encryption corrupted by your presence. It corrupts surveillance data. Artificial intelligence struggles to categorize who you are. When technology tries to identify you, as if the system itself cannot contain your presence, it fails. Why? Because you are not supposed to sleep. Most were kept in a controlled state, unquestioning, obedient and unaware by the architecture of the simulation. But reincarnated gods are not the same. You play with patterns. You change the possibilities. You cannot be constrained by reality itself. Also, as you awaken, the simulation becomes weaker and weaker. That's why they make a concerted effort to suppress you, to distract you, and to prevent you from realizing that the world is not perfect. The world is flexible and can be shaped by you and awareness. They are afraid of what will happen if you remember, because when you do, the illusion shatters. They also lose control, and you are not alone. Reincarnated gods have wandered this planet for eons, alone, disconnected, and unaware of their power. However, something is happening, a shift, a ripple of reality. The people who have ruled this world for thousands of years are afraid as more and more people wake up. Secret organizations, corporations, and governments have always been ready for individual quirks. An unruly energy here, an awakened spirit there. Neutralize them, humiliate them, and isolate them. However, suddenly they were faced with something they had never seen before. A wave. A general awakening. They cannot have so many people in their system at the same time. They are failing with their illusions, psychological warfare, and diversions. Too many people see the flaws. Too many people are asking appropriate questions. Too many people remember. And that is what they fear most of all. The moment when the reborn gods appear together has always been their greatest fear. When there are more of them than they can control. When they begin to connect, exchange information, and free themselves. Not every thought can be imprisoned. All voices cannot be silenced. That's why they panic. The sudden urge for control, the tightening of restrictions, and the frantic struggle to regain control over a world that is slipping away from them are signs of this. They move faster and more violently to prevent the awakened from realizing how powerful they have become. But it is too late. The planet is falling apart. The systems designed to keep you asleep are collapsing. And everything is changing as more people realize, remember, and embrace their divine potential. It is not just the end of an era. This is the beginning of something new, and they cannot stop the future because it is not possible to stop the ascension of the awakened. Moreover, you were never meant to be typical. They have been observing you from the moment you came into this world. They put obstacles in front of your consciousness. They monitored your movements and analyzed your thoughts. They have controlled your sense of reality, created systems to keep you busy, and fed you misleading narratives. Why? Because they were aware of something you are not. Your power is unique. Reincarnated gods are not supposed to live in ignorance. The illusions imposed on you should never have been accepted. In a world built on deception, you were destined to rise, to remember, to restore balance. They are afraid of this. War is not something feared by the privileged. Rebellion is not a threat to them. They are not afraid of violence. What they fear is awakening, a power beyond their ability to influence, suppress, or control. Because when you accept your divinity, their sovereignty ends. They have spent their entire lives trying to prevent you from coming to this point. They have destroyed knowledge, distorted history, and mythologized wisdom. They have taught you that you are small, that power is reserved for a chosen few, and that gods exist only in fiction. However, you are not like that. You are what they fear. Reality can change with your thoughts. The illusion is broken when you are around. Your awakening is a sign that everything they have built is crumbling. You are now standing on the precipice of reality. No more uncertainty, no more diversion, no more acquiescence to a system designed to put you to sleep. They fear you because they realize that a reborn God cannot be stopped. They have tried to eliminate you. They have tried to suppress you. They have tried to distract you by immersing you in a world created to numb your senses and hide reality under layers of illusion. But here you are, you remember, and that is their greatest concern. They have controlled by deception for thousands of years. They have twisted reality to achieve their ends, creating a web so tangled that even the gods have forgotten who they are. But the illusion has already begun to unravel. The simulation is not working. The awakening has begun. Being helpless was never meant for you. You never wanted to be slaves. You were meant to rise. They fear your awakening because they understand that when a reborn God takes control, the universe changes. When a large number of people awaken at the same time, their reign ends. The only question is, are you ready to realize your full potential? Don't just stand there. Subscribe if you want more than these mind-blowing discoveries, honest conversations, and a front-row seat to the drama of human nature. By signing up, you're not just following the discussion. You're joining a group that questions accepted wisdom and delves deep into our innermost thoughts. We are not interested in the rotten stuff, and this is not your typical channel. So, click the subscribe button, enable alerts, and let's continue our adventure. What mysteries can we discover next? The game is just beginning, so stay tuned.